How's it going, everybody? My name is JustJarrod, but you guys can just call me Jared, and the Destiny 2 beta is on. I'm here to give you my first impressions, my day one impressions, if you will, from playing it for basically an entire day. Yeah, there's a lot to talk about, so let's get right into it. I hope you guys are enjoying the beta. First of all, it is a great beta, but we do have to remember it is just a beta, which I'll talk about later. So first off, let's talk about the general gameplay aspects of the beta. The story mission is amazing. The story mission's great. The music is fantastic. The story, the cinematics are awesome. It's a long story mission, which kind of gives me hope that the other story missions are going to be as long or maybe even longer. The cinematics are fantastic. So the story mission all around was an awesome experience, and I love playing through it 3 times for each character. Now, the Strike, Inverted Spire, is probably my favorite thing about the Destiny 2 beta, and I'll explain why. There's a few reasons for that. It's different. It's different than all the other strikes in Destiny 1. We've got the drill segment, we've got the cool floor-falling tiered boss at the end. It still feels like a strike, like you can tell that it's a strike. They haven't changed like crazy mechanics or anything like that, which is not a problem. I've loved strikes in Destiny 1. That's probably one of the things I did the most in the game. But the fact that it was longer than other strikes, and also the fact that it's open, because the strike is actually part of the planet now, so you can load up the strike and just completely go in the opposite direction, find the lost sector symbols, find the lost sector. You can't go in the door, but you can actually explore around the strike. You don't have to go to the strike directly. There's multiple paths to get to the strike and where you have to go. So I love the openness of it. Me and my friends just spent like 3 hours just exploring the area of the strike before we even started it. So that's what I love about it, the openness of the strike, actually being able to explore rather than have to go in one direction. Now let's talk about PvP. PvP is a different experience now. Everything is 4v4 across all modes. We got to play on the Midtown map for the countdown mode and the Endless Veil map for the control mode. And there's some complaints I have about the PvP. I only played about 7 matches in total. And I got this is my experience from it. This is what I think they need to tweak, or what I think they need to look into. The super cooldown is super slow. Okay, I understand that they want to slow it down because they're slowing down ability cooldowns as well, because in Destiny 1, it was just ability spam. People run into a room, throw all their grenades, run out, run back in, and clean up the mess with the weapons and the guns, which they don't want to happen anymore. They want it to be more gunfights and things like that, but the super cooldown is incredibly slow. During, I think, about 4 of the 7 matches I played, I didn't get my super once during the entire match. So that's probably not the best. I was at the top of my leaderboard in 3 of those games, and I never got my super. I'm not terrible at Crucible. I actually think I'm pretty good, at least in Destiny 1. So not getting a super during just PvP matches in general is not a good thing. And then when people did get their super, when I did get my super in these control matches, or in these PvP matches, it was at like the last 45 seconds of the match, and everybody was popping their super at one time, just because it kind of felt like you needed to use it before the end of the match. So everybody was using their super. I had a gunslinger and a sentinel and an arc strider running at me at once when I was an arc strider myself. It's just impossible. There's just too much. It's like mayhem, the mode, in the last 45 seconds of Crucible. So the super cooldown needs to be changed, so you can at least get it maybe during the middle of the matches, so then you can choose to use it now or wait till later, instead of just popping them all at the end, because that's the only time I ever got my super, and that's kind of a letdown. Also, in this version of PvP, I was basically team-shotted the entire experience. I don't know what it is that they've changed that just makes it happen more often, but every time I was killed, it was basically me being team-shotted by the entire team. So I don't know how that actually works, but there's not a lot of 1v1s anymore because there's only 4v4. I don't know, so I don't know how they're going to fix that, but team shot is like how I was killed almost every time. And then the ability cooldowns, they're just so long. Now, people wanted the abilities to be less effective as far as damage goes because they did so much damage and they came back so quickly. But what they did was they nerfed the damage and they nerfed the cooldown. So that's like got a double whammy right on the abilities. And it takes so long, like a minute to a minute 30 for abilities to come back, and that's insane. That's kind of like if I I kind of deciding like whether or not I want to throw my grenade, because I know I'm going to have to wait a long time. If I miss a grenade, then well shit, I've got to wait so long to probably miss the next one as well, because there's less people to hit in this one. There's more dodge mechanics in this one. The Warlock's got to dodge, the Hunter's got to dodge. You know, it's just, I don't know what they're going to do. There's a lot of things they need to tweak, I think, and this is why it's a beta. But as far as PvP, I didn't like my experience that much, just because no cooldowns, no abilities. I don't know. The servers weren't that great. I was getting kicked a lot. There was a lot of stuff, a lot of problems that were happening, at least on day one of the beta. But I don't know. It's fine. I like the gunfights. I like the, you know, more focus on the weapon fights rather than the abilities. But I think the abilities were hit too hard because you just don't get them as much and they're not as useful. Now let's talk about the subclasses. Alright, so I love the Gunslinger subclass. I love the Arc Strider subclass. Love the Striker and the Sentinel subclass. All of those are amazing. First off, we're going to talk in depth about the Warlock subclasses, because I am a Warlock fan from Destiny 1. I've been a Warlock main for Destiny 1. I've had all characters, but I've loved the Warlock the most. And in this one, I love the Warlock the least, and that's kind of unfortunate. I'm kind of willing to branch out this time and not just be, you know, Warlock main forever. I just don't like the Dawnblade super as much as the other supers. It seems a little boring compared to the Arc Strider or the Sentinel, and I'm not into the Voidwalker new one either. It's kind of weird to get used to, the slow-moving tracking Nova Bomb. I don't know. I'm a huge fan of the Arc Strider and the Sentinel subclasses, and here's a reason why. It's because they're hard to master, right? They're not just pop your super, spam the buttons to kill everything. It's pop your super, and with the Sentinel, you've got so many options. You've got the bubble, which you hold the buttons. You've got the throw of the shield. You've got the shield bash, the shield charge. You've got the actual block with the shield. The most versatile subclass there is, which is amazing. And there's so many ways to use it. And you've got these combo moves, or if you hit R1, R1, R2, you got the smash, and then the charge. There's a lot of stuff. Same with the Arc Strider. You can't just smash buttons down and hope to hit something. You've got the dodge, which makes you flip around and dodge, and then you've got the attacks. You've got different combo moves. I love that about both of those subclasses. The Striker subclass feels so powerful. I love the Striker from Destiny 1 anyways, and the Gunslinger, 6 shots. It's even better, you know? So I love those supers, but the Warlocks ones seem a bit boring to me compared to the others. We'll have to see when it comes to third subclasses, but as of right now, I'm either probably going to main a Hunter or a Titan. Probably a Titan, because I do like both his supers a little bit more than the Hunters, but we'll end up having to see what happens when Destiny actually releases. But those are kind of my views on the subclasses. Now, as always, the weapons in Destiny feel as good as ever. The gun feel in Destiny has always been good. Bungie's always been freaking fantastic with guns and how they shoot and how they feel. Submachine guns and pulse rifles freaking rock in Destiny 2. I love the pulse rifles in it. I like the submachine guns. They just destroy up close. Really cool. Weapon mods seem interesting. We don't know much about them, but we do know they are a thing. And the fact that you can put a shader on every single thing, every piece of armor, your ship, you can put a shader on everything now, is fantastic, because I love customization. I don't know who doesn't. So, I mean, the shader thing is amazing. I can't wait to get new shaders. The ships look really cool. Hopefully, they're not just all reskins. They don't just give us a bunch of shaders and hope we're fine with it. Hope we get different looking ships and the like. So, anyways, that is basically it. We just have to remember this is a beta. This is just a beta. There's only 3 things to do, 4 things, whatever, if you count kind of exploring the strike. But there's not tons to do in this beta, and there is some issues with PvP, I think. A lot of other people agree as far as PvP. I've watched some other videos, and we all have really similar thoughts, which is kind of cool, that things that I was thinking of, bigger Destiny 2 YouTubers also had the same thoughts, which is really cool to see that. But yeah, as far as abilities go, one more thing I wanted to mention. When it comes to PvP, I noticed the ability cooldown a lot more because I'm just so used to using them in Destiny 1. But when it comes to PvE, I didn't really realize that the abilities weren't coming back as fast. And the reason is because of the new circle ability, the new class ability that allows you to either get a shield with your Titan, heal yourself, or empower yourself with your Warlock, or dodge with your Hunter. So I always had that third ability, so I think that's why I didn't really realize that the other ones weren't coming back as fast. Plus in PvE, you do get your super a bit faster because there's more enemies to kill and, you know, other guardians to create orbs for you. So as far as abilities go, I think they just need some kind of change in PvP, because in PvE I did not notice them as much not being there like I did in PvP. But that's the last thought I have for this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure you give it a thumbs up for me. Subscribe for more Destiny 2 news and coverage all the time. I'm going to be trying to get as many Destiny 2 videos as I can up. Right now I had some trouble recording gameplay from the beta. All my files from the first like 6 or 7 hours of recording went corrupt, so that was terrible. Hopefully all this goes together and everything works out when I put this video up for you guys. But if you enjoyed it, like I said, give it a thumbs up, subscribe for Destiny 2 news and coverage all the time. My name has been JustJarrod. Until next time, I hope you guys all have a fantastic day. Peace out.